Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. All right, so today we're going to talk about not different people, but where people are at in different spaces and different energy levels, okay? Should be a pretty simple video and pretty much to the point. Let me just pull some up here real quick, take some notes. All right. So this is actually a very, very simple concept. All right, so we are shifting from the 3D world, which is our left brain. It's our logical processor, okay? So you've got the one-dimensional world, which is just a straight line, and then you got two-dimensional, which is a straight line, and then it goes off to the left or to the right, okay? So that's two-dimensional. Three-dimensional is then when you've got length, width, and then you've got height. Now it's going up off the piece of paper. That's where we're at right now. Now, the spiritual world is when you expand beyond that, okay? So that's the right brain. So we are in the process of shifting right now. We are at the very, I don't know if I should say precipice, because I think we're actually crossing over that. But the point is this. People are at different places, energetically, therapy, healing-wise, etc. So I'm going to pull up an image real quick. Hold on. Okay, so now take a look at this image. This is a very healthy way to use your energy or to be within your energy, okay? Most people do not do this. This is more of a right brain, internal, expansive awareness of your energy. When you're in this space, you can heal better, you can heal other people, you can manifest better, okay? And you get along with people better from this space. Now, take a look at this image. This is a very unhealthy way to use your energy. This is what an energy vampire literally does to you. They want to connect to you in a very narrow energetic way, like you're looking down a tube, like they're connecting forehead to forehead, okay? And this is why a narcissist is always trying to get you up into your head, into your logical part of your brain, into your forehead by using fear tactics, okay? So this is something that people are doing on the 3D level, and we've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years. Everyone talks about freedom, not even knowing what is freedom. Freedom is breaking free from this and opening back up into an expansive awareness of our own energy. Connecting to someone else's energy in this linear way is not healthy. This is literally control. This is what narcissists do to you energetically. That's why you feel like you've either got a headache all the time, everything is narrow, like you can only see what's in front of you, and why you feel drained all the time. Humans have been doing this on the planet for a long, long time. This literally is the slave master energy. I'm not kidding, okay? The idea is to let go of this, and that's where we are going as a species, as a race, or not as a race, but as a planet. We are shifting out of this. The people that are not shifting out of this are having a really, really hard time. They are really going through it right now. So fear tactics put you in this energy field. It keeps you in a very low vibration and also a very narrow awareness. That's how those in power can control us. And this is literally what they do with our energy. So yes, now here's the thing. I have mastered the ability to pop people out of this and open up into the expanded way. Why? Because this is what Okay, so essentially, all the work I've done, the consciousness work and the techniques I've learned over the decades has always been about opening up. It wasn't until I met this Buddhist monk that this actually happened to me. I was about 28 years old, and he just, boom, popped me open, and all of a sudden I felt nothing but love. And everywhere I went, people were literally drawn to me. It was me and my girlfriend at the time in our 20s. And we noticed the third time we went to Buddha Calm that when we left, we went to a restaurant to get, because it was about a 45-minute hour, actually it was about an hour and 15-minute drive. from Stockton back to where we lived, Stockton, California. And we'd always pull over at a restaurant on the way back because we were hungry, and we noticed how the entire restaurant would just stop and would turn and stare at us, just so peaceful. Like when we'd walk in, it'd be chaotic, rah, 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 like yelling and talking, and boom, it would just stop, and this peace would come over the whole restaurant. And the third time it happened, because the first time times were, why is everyone staring at us? Like we didn't get it. But the third time, my ex goes, every time we go to Budokan, he would pour this, like, it was water that was blessed. It had like certain flowers, like from Laos, and perfume and oils and other stuff. And he would do a prayer and a chant and everything as he dipped this thing in and like splash it on your face and on your head and on your back and all over you. And it puts you in the most loving state of mind. It was really incredible. What happened was I learned how to do that, and that's what I teach to my male clients. I work and I condition this into them energetically, and when they can do it, when they've experienced it enough, they can eventually pop open on their own. And all of a sudden, everyone's so much nicer to me now. I'm like, yeah, because you're in the open space, and I'll explain why. So the purpose for teaching this to men is to create this open space. Now I teach it to women too. It's a lot easier to teach to women, by the way. This is more of their natural nature. Is you go from this forehead mental mind-to-mind control thing, which makes people want to run, to this open, spacious awareness of space of acceptance. And you just accept people for who they are. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong. See, what you have to understand is the right or wrong is literally a left brain process. It's how that processor, that computer, your left brain, processes information. It says it's either A or it's B. Whereas the right brain it's literally like being out in Mother Nature. You're not judging the leaf or the trees. You're just seeing it for what it is. It's a full acceptance. Now, this is such a rare experience for people. Now, it wasn't like everybody at the restaurants were like, wow, I feel fully accepted. They don't know what it is. All they know is I feel really comfortable for some reason. Here's what happens. Everybody opens up energetically. So you say you want to raise the level of consciousness on the planet. How do you do that? You do it by learning how to do it yourself. You cannot be a slave master and force other people to open up. Because when you're closed, you close them up. That's the way it works. Because that's the opposite of consciousness, okay? So here's the interesting thing. So my learnings, now here's the thing, I didn't learn it in college, I didn't learn it from Tony Robbins, I didn't learn it from the Men Are From Mars guy or anybody, because they're not teaching this stuff at all. This is higher consciousness level stuff than what they're doing. I became very aware that, this experience with Budokan was just one experience. Now we went back quite a bit because of this. And I became more and more conscious of what was happening and how that was affecting the people around me. So when I was in this loving, open spaciousness, the people around me suddenly shifted from this chaotic energy to this very grounded, calm, relaxed, open, loving space. They became what I was. This is how it all works. This is why when you go out in the world, if you have chaotic energy, you're going to experience chaos. If you have anger, because people get sucked into your energy field. Because the minute you walk into their space, whether it's at a park, a baseball field, a restaurant, or wherever, it's like your energy expands out there, and people are going to get caught up in it, and they're going to go into your energy field, and they're going to treat you the way that your energy is. That's the way it all works. Now, do you understand karma? It's the energy that you're walking around in. Or do you remember the image of Pigpen, how he had like this bowl of dust, just constantly circling around him. Well, that's your energy field, so to speak, okay? So when people are around it, they get caught up in it because it connects with their energy, and thus they begin to treat you the way that energy is, or your karma. This is why it is so important, vital, to begin to heal your energy. When you heal your energy, all of that stuff goes away. Whatever part of your energy you heal, boom, that's gone. Okay, I'll give you one. Whenever I would get in my car, I am telling you, before I would even get on the road, people would honk at me. It was the most incredible thing in the world. People are always yelling at me, honking at me, and I was just sitting there at a stoplight or stop, like, what do you want me to do? Well, I started dating this lady. She was getting her doctorate degree in psychology. She was about 28 or 29. I think I was about 32. And she was Puerto Rican, and she would drive like a crazy person and have her music blaring and she would run lights. She would just do the worst. She would turn without using her blinker, cut people off, and nobody would honk at her or get mad. And here's the thing though. The kind of car she had, the seat rest that went behind the head it was wide and it was really far up. So from behind, you couldn't tell if it was a male or a female. So one day we pull up to the gas station and she ran this red light. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? And when we filled up the gas, she goes, Michael, can you drive? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I get in the car. I don't even put the keys in the ignition. Some guy pulls up at the pump behind us and honks at me. And I was like, what the hell, man? So I go to pull out. I stop before I get to the street. I look left, I look right. I'm not moving. I've been sitting there for about 3 or 4 seconds. And all of a sudden, this car starts honking at me and yelling at me. And I pull out. And first thing, someone that's about 5 car lengths behind me that was just starting to realize is honking at me. I'm like, what do they think? Even if they gun it, they couldn't catch up to me. And she starts laughing, her and her daughter. She goes, that's unbelievable. Every time you start to drive, people start getting mad. I'm like, yeah. Well, here's the deal. That's all gone. I can run red lights now. I can blare my music and act crazy and cut people off, and nobody honks at me anymore. That's the difference between carrying energy and healing it and letting it go. All right, so now relationships and dating. Why do you think 2 people come together? It's because of our energy. Okay, and here's what I mean. Relationships are designed to trigger your issues, your parts, your crystallized energy, so they can come to the surface and be healed, okay? And generally, it's kind of like giving birth. It's going to come up and it's going to be painful and yelling and screaming and crying and lots of shame and trauma and drama. And here's what happens. Why do you think relationships end? It's because you guys have healed the parts that you are meant to heal by coming together. So it's like that person is going to trigger 6 or 7 or 12 of your parts, and you're going to trigger 8 or 10 or 12 of theirs. And over years of doing this, they slowly begin to heal because they've been revealed. It's like you start to see this pattern, like, oh my God, every time this, then that happens. And it becomes so obvious. You're like, oh, and then the healing process for that part or that charge begins to happen. And once these parts are all healed, you need to move on to another person who can help trigger some of your other parts to come up. And again, it's drama, trauma, and all that negative stuff. Okay? So this is one of the reasons why a lot of religions or, the Bible or spiritual, teachings say, hey, you need to stick together. Why? Because these will pull up these relationships. This marriage is going to pull up a lot of your issues to heal. Sadly, once they're healed, most people get divorced. But not all people. The people that stick it through, they end up living very peaceful and very content lives. But remember, for those of you who did break up and get divorced, it's because you had more parts that were meant to be healed. And thus you had to find another person that was basically wired and designed to trigger those kinds of parts, okay? I'm going to leave that at that. All I'm saying is at the end of a relationship, the reason why relationships end is because everything that was supposed to be triggered in this relationship has already been done. It's already been healed. The other possibility is the person that you're with it's not causing you to heal it for some reason. Either they don't have the skill to do it or whatever, okay? So, or another reason is because you need to experience this through multiple people to finally go, wait a minute, this is me. It's not all women or all men. Wow, it turns out this is actually a pattern that I have that needs to be healed, okay? So the only caveat to this is you might find people that are generally 40 plus years old who are very, very content with themselves. Take myself. I have done the deep dive for over 30 years, going to the best energy healers, the best monks. Now, not all monks are really good at energy healing. It's not a rare find, but to find someone who's really good like Buddha Kalm was, that I was very fortunate to have spent as many years as I have with him in healing. So let's wrap this up. So here's what I'm overall trying to say to you. Is if people are at a different space, different level, they're angry, they're sad, they're hooked on drugs, they're homeless, whatever it is, they are going through what they are supposed to go through. It's on a spiritual level that they have chosen to be in this space to experience certain things so they can learn what they need to learn. This is why you could take someone who's homeless and take them off the street and get them drug free and all this stuff, and they'll go and they may not even do drugs again, but they go back to the street. It's because there's an energy that needs to be healed, and it has to have certain experiences for a certain length of time to finally see its own pattern. Another thing you're going to have to remember is this isn't just about this lifetime. We have many lifetimes. Our spiritual journey lasts for tens of thousands of years. Maybe that's not quite a correct way of saying it, but it is so long that this lifetime is literally a flash in the pan. It's like a minute or 5 minutes in the whole of our whole experience. So don't judge people if they're homeless or if they're on drugs. And I don't mean that as a rule, like don't be a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, God, how do I explain this? Okay, I've got a way. We are shifting from the 3D left brain world and opening up to the expanded right brain world. That's what's happening on the planet. And some people are still going through that healing phase. They have to go through it in order to finally let go of that way of being and finally opening up to this expanded way of being. So be okay with it. Be okay with people going through rough times. Be okay with yourself going through emotional times or traumatic times. It is all part of the healing journey that we all have to go through. It's why we are here, okay? So have compassion for yourself and others. And remember, by having compassion for yourself and loving yourself, that allows you to have compassion and love for others. That's the way. That is the journey. See, having compassion for yourself and having compassion for others, it's not a goody two-shoes thing to do. In fact, that's not, you know how people say, practice being grateful? Well, compassion is a lot more powerful, but both of them, I shouldn't really say that. They're both very powerful energies. Here's why you do it. It's because it expands the energy field, and this brings consciousness to the planet. Well, what do I mean by that? I just mean it opens you up to a greater level of expansion. Well, what do I mean by that? It's because life will become funner, it'll become happier. See, we are shifting into the world of creativity, which is the right brain. The first goal was to conquer the land, which we have done. Now it's taken thousands and thousands of years, but we've done it. Life is supposed to expand into a much happier space. The only way we can do that is by expanding ourselves, by being grateful, by being compassionate. It's not because, oh, I'm being a logical, egotistical, good person, and therefore I'm a good person and I fit into society. That is not why you're supposed to learn how to cultivate a level of compassion and gratitude. It's because it expands your energy. I just want to say that I love you guys, and I want you to start loving yourselves and just being compassionate to yourself. So when you're going through a tough time, stop judging yourself, stop being harsh on yourself, and just hold yourself and be compassionate. You want to heal the world? You do it by healing yourself. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video.